Grace and peace, everybody. On Berean, I'm back with another video. A lot of times I'm not sure exactly what direction I'm going to, because there's so much things I want to share on so many other subjects. I started off with that Ray Hagan, but it's not only Ray Hagan. When it comes down to it, a lot of people say a lot of things that, not historically speaking, is not right. Historically speaking, they're just not right, and part of it comes from Dan Brown when it comes to Nicean Council and the divinity of Jesus. Part of that comes from Dan Brown and his famous book, The Da Vinci Codes. Now, in the beginning of the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown clearly says the genre, or the type of book that it is a book of fiction. But when he started talking about the Nicean Council and how they invented Jesus in the Nicean Council, some people read that and they took that and they just ran with it. Now, nobody can prove that. When we deal with the Nicean Council, we have to understand who Arius is, who Athanasius is, who became bishop later on. He wasn't a bishop at the time of the council, but he became a bishop later on. These are guys that's strong in the church in Alexandria. The Christian church that's in Africa, these are guys that were strong there. And the one guy, Arius, he started teaching everybody in the room, first of all, with the Nicean Council, every 300 bishop, elder, acolyte that was in the room, every one of them believed that Jesus was divine. This one guy, Arius, he started teaching Jesus is divine, homoousios, I believe the word is, that Jesus was divine, being one substance, or Yeshua being one substance with the Father. They go to Daniel and they understand that Daniel, that Messiah is divine. He rides upon the clouds, and from the book of Revelation, different scriptures in the book of Revelation. But this one guy, Arius, he started teaching that one day the Most High God, 20 trillion years ago, whatever the number is, one day the Most High God wanted to create the world, and then the first thing he did was made Jesus. And then he made some angels, and Jesus and the angels started doing everything else for him. But Jesus is at the right hand of the Father, but he wasn't always around with the Father. This was the whole entire beef. When we start dealing with that, we got to go back to original sources. We can't go to Dan Brown. We have to go to original sources. Who was there? Eusebius was there. Eusebius wrote a history on what happened. He wasn't even part. He didn't agree with everything in the beginning, but the thing that I wanted to stress, everybody in the room believed that Jesus was not a regular prophet. So Muslims trying to bring the Nicean Council up, everybody in the room didn't believe that Jesus was a regular prophet. They believed that he was divine on some level. The question of the council was on what level he was divine. Another thing they bring out about the Nicean Council is that that's where they picked the books of the Bible. The books of the Bible had nothing to do with the Nicean Council whatsoever. No historian of any reputable scholar will not tell you that the books of the Bible were picked or acknowledged at the Nicean Council. They didn't have anything to do with that. They dealt with the nature of who Jesus was. If y'all want some further sources, go with who was right there. Eusebius was there. He didn't agree with everything, but he recorded what happened. Another thing we got to understand is a lot of the bishops that were in the room, these guys, remember, because we have to remember 313, before the Nicean Council, 313 was the Edict of Milan. That's when Constantine said, yo, we got to stop killing these Christians. Y'all stop persecuting the Christians in 313. So every bishop that was alive in the room, they were there persecuted. There were bishops there that didn't have no hands. Their hands were chopped off. Their eyes were gouged out. They took their eyes out. They were being tortured for what they believe. So y'all, some people out here trying to tell me those same bishops came and they turned around and they switched the game up and they invented a lie when a whole bunch of their friends died just 15 years earlier? It's impossible. People are making a lot of statements and they don't have no facts on it whatsoever. One person will tell another person and they'll blog it and they'll put it on the internet. And like I said, the thing that really kicked the whole thing off out of control was Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. And he says it's a work of fiction. Dan Brown worth $120 million right now, but at the same time it's backlash for some believers because of the Nicean Council. It didn't have nothing to do with the books of the Bible. I'm just freestyling right now. It did not have nothing to do with the books of the Bible. As far as the divinity of Jesus, Constantine and the Nicean Council was in 325 AD. What am I going to do with Theophilus, the Bishop of Antioch, in 160 AD? We have his writings. He's the first person to use the word Trinity in 160. 160, that's 100 and change before Constantine is even born. If we look at all, of the church writings, if we look at the church fathers alone, we have people that came under the Apostle John after Jesus was crucified, people that came under the Apostle John, Irenaeus, we have Papias, Polycarp. We got so many church fathers. We got a million quotes from the church fathers alone. One scholar said that that was down with Bruce Metzger, and then one scholar said, and Bart Ehrman, I'm not sure if y'all know who these scholars are, but one scholar said was down with them, if the entire New Testament was destroyed just with the quotes of the church fathers alone, we can bring back the whole New Testament, everything except maybe the book of Revelation. Everything else the church fathers quoted, and they all believed in the divinity of Jesus. From the beginning, 150 years before Constantine came on the set. So when people make statements like that, y'all got to show and prove. Y'all have to explain why y'all believe that. Eusebius, Ecclesiastical History, any scholarly work on the Nicene Creed with footnotes that explain what happened to you. Eusebius was there. There were two bishops there that was named Eusebius. Bishop Nicholas of Myra, he was there. Later on, tradition came around. That's who people call Saint Nicholas. That's who people call Santa Claus today. He was a bishop that was there. There was a bunch of cats that were there who were bishops that were willing to die for what they believe. And we can go back. This is what evidence is about. We can go back and we can find out that way, way prior to Constantine, people were worshiping Jesus. If y'all like what you hear, subscribe. I'm going to bring out some other books. We're going to talk about biblical interpretation. I got a couple of things right here. And we just got to get to the truth of stuff. A lot of times people want to shoot down the church. They want to shoot down this and that. We got to get to the truth of the stuff. White man gave us the Bible. The Bible was in Africa. I told y'all on another video, J.A. Rogers, 100 amazing facts about the Negro. Dr. Ben, we the black Jews. The first Christian nation on the planet was Ethiopia. Those were original. Those were black folk, if y'all don't know it. The Ethiopian church. The Ethiopians were the first Christian nation on the planet. The first monks were in Egypt, the Coptic church in Egypt, way before Columbus, way before Europeans took hold of Christianity and the Catholic church came about. Later on, I'll get into the history about the Catholics and the Protestants and was the Bible tampered with. We're going to deal with all of that. I'm going to deal with the Illuminati. I'm going to drop the videos one by one, but I want to take it slow. A lot of times my people tell me, you throw out a lot of information thinking people know that. And I'm going to try to give y'all sources, like I said in the other video, original sources, secondary sources, what's a primary source. And I'm going to bring all of that on. I'm going to bring all of that out. If y'all like what you hear, like I said, subscribe. And I'll drop some more stuff. I'm going to drop some more stuff soon. Hope to hear from y'all soon.